got a chance to talk to some guys I grew up with. One who works at a bottling company locally for a popular brand of soft drinks. Another who's working for a local cable company. Well, they have offices and reach nationwide, but these are big companies. That bottling company was one where when I was in high school, it was a popular place to work. They paid well, there were good benefits, and it was the type of job you could get on at and keep. And from what I understand, it's still that way. For whatever reason, just like many other companies, they can't keep employees. They've even gotten so frustrated to where they've put their hiring process for the initial steps and entry-level jobs in the hands of staffing companies. It used to be 90 days to go through the staffing company, and then you get on with such a company full-time. From what I understand now, if you show up consistently and do good work for 30 days now, you can end up with a full-time job starting at $20 an hour, which isn't the most money in the world. But get this, they're so short-staffed, they're offering unlimited overtime up until the federal limit on overtime, which I believe is 70 hours per week. So you can darn near end up making six figures off of a warehouse job, basically. Starting with zero skills and a high school diploma at 18 years old. So I'm not sure why these jobs aren't being taken. I have theories, but just in case there's anybody out there who doesn't understand, this is why and how you can make manual labor jobs work for you. Since they offer the overtime, even though they're paying $20 an hour, you're not limited to a 40-hour work week and then 40 hours of wages. So let's say the starting pay is $20 an hour. After your 40th hour in that particular week, and I think there may even be, after 12 hours in a day, you get some overtime automatically for that extra 4 hours. Don't quote me on that. Manual labor hasn't really ever been my thing. I just never got put in that position. But after 12 hours, I know 16 hours is the max on some jobs. I know a mental health facility that during the after the hurricanes, when after Hurricane Ida, they had people working 7 days a week and basically living at the facility with the patients. I don't know how they work that out, but you do have situations where somehow your payroll person can figure out how to make those longer hours work in the employee's favor better. But nonetheless, 40 hours a week is normal time. After 40, between 40 and 60 hours, you get what's called time and a half. So if you multiply 20 times 1.5, you get 30. So for those next 20 hours after 40 hours, you get $30 an hour. And then for those last 10 hours in that 70-hour max, you can get $40 an hour if your base salary is 20. So if you add that up, let's see, 20 times 40, that's $800 in 1 week. Then for the overtime from 40 to 60 hours, that 20-hour period, 20 times 30, that's another 600. So now you're at 1,400. And then for those last 10 hours, you get $40 an hour, so that's another $400. So I think that's $1,800. Don't quote me on that. I'm driving and watching this big 18-wheeler next to me, and folks are driving like fools these days. But that's pretty much somewhere between $1,600 and $1,800 minus taxes. If it's $1,800, as I am sure it is, that's $1,400-$1,500 after taxes. Now, granted, the work may be a little arduous, but to come out with $6,000 take-home pay with zero skills, no degree, no trade school, they've taught you how to work a forklift, so forth and so on, that ain't bad. And then I don't know how it's working as far as the competition for promotions and things of that nature, but pay raises are going to be in there somewhere, because right now employers are incentivizing workers to stay on the job. So I don't know what you're out there doing, men. I don't know if you're in a situation where you feel like you're at a dead end, but maybe you could consider manual labor and putting in extra work to get your desired outcome. If you're working a desk job that's easy but you're not getting paid enough, okay, well, you have options. So sometimes doing doing manual unskilled labor can actually pay. I know this is Louisiana, so there's other places in the country that have way better setups for manual labor. One thing I do in my classroom, if a kid says, look, I don't want to go to college, I want to work with my hands, okay, cool. Let's find the best option for you. But right now, even options that weren't necessarily the best option can be made into a better option, because if this company's giving unlimited overtime, I guarantee you there are others out there. Because everywhere I look, there are help wanted signs. Now, especially if you're in your 20s, maybe even if you're in your 30s and rebuilding, while you're building your skill set so you can demand a higher base wage or salary, sometimes you have to take times like this in life and sacrifice. Maybe you need to take a 5-year period where you skip out on some parties, skip out on some events, and skip out on some fun and not buy some nice things, and you just save your money. And then if you have one job, you could also look at getting another one. I may make a separate video and a separate concept for that. But consider looking into these jobs that you might think are physically hard, or they really are physically hard. Because right now, nobody can find workers.